The Deputy Speaker believes that this union will play a pivotal role in building strong global partnership that bridges the gap between the diaspora, economic, and infrastructural development in Nigeria. The legislative template set by the establishment of Nigerian Diaspora Commission through the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission Establishment Bill 2016 serves as a standing example of what can be achieved through cooperation between government and the diaspora. This commission continues to be a driving force behind collaborative efforts aimed at economic growth, infrastructural development, cultural exchange, and humanitarian support. As we gather here today, we must acknowledge the immense potential that lies within the African diaspora. The knowledge, resources, skill, and passion of our diaspora communities can significantly contribute to the progress and prosperity of Nigeria and the entire African continent. It is through this initiative like AfriDo that we can harness this potential and channel it towards transformative projects and endeavors. The House of Representatives remains resolute in its commitment in supporting endeavors that strengthen the ties between Nigeria and African diaspora. We acknowledge the challenges that we may encounter along this journey, but we also recognize the enormous potentials, opportunities that await us. The future is bright, and it is our collective duty to seize it with open hands. In closing, let us express our deep gratitude to the organizers of this conference for their vision, diligence, and commitment to fostering global partnership. We extend our heartfelt congratulations to AfriDo on its inception, and we look forward to witnessing the positive impact it will undoubtedly have on our shared goals. May this conference and the Battle of AfriDo serve as a beacon of hope and inspiration for the future in which the African diaspora and Nigerians are united in purpose and posterity. Thank you, and may our collective effort lead us to a brighter, more interconnected future. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Quickly, I want to recognize the presence of Comrade Noah Emmanuel, National President, Nigeria Non-Governmental Association for Literacy Support Services, NOGAS. Please, is he around? Yes. Comrade Noah Emmanuel. Where is he? Okay. Also want to recognize Anyao Jenny Francis, National Financial Secretary, Dietitians Association of Nigeria. If he's in the house, please, can we recognize your presence, please? Please, a round of applause for her. Thank you. Thank you. Emeritus Professor Simon Ashinewa, former Vice Chancellor, Rivers State University, is also in the house. Please, can we recognize his presence? Please celebrate it. My job is very brief. We are moving on, and let me just add this quickly because we are running now. Prince Albert Diete Spieth and the wife, the son and daughter-in-law of His Royal Majesty King Diete Spieth Alfred, is in the house. Please, can we recognize them? Thank you. Also, Prince Michael Diete Spieth is also in the house. Can we recognize you? I can't find you. Okay. All right, so we are moving on to the next issue. Let me welcome Yinka. Are they Yinka? All right. Want to thank you for your patience. We are running fast, and in a few minutes we shall be done. Please, a round of applause for Yinka.
It is time to welcome to the podium we're supposed to have, next on the agenda is the special remark from His Excellency Dr. Kaziel Ben Yehuda from Israel. But he tried. He's the African ambassador to the Middle East. He tried to make it here, but we all know what is happening in Israel. So he couldn't make it. But he really wanted his voice to be heard. So he sent down his speech, and it is going to be read by our delegate from the U.S., Cassandra Jerry Dunford. Please come forward. Thank you. Isn't she beautiful? She calls me sister.
That is what you are. Good afternoon and greetings. I'd first like to thank the one true and living God for allowing me to make this journey and arrival safely, and to AFRIDU for its prestigious invitation to the great giant, or as we refer to it in the U.S., the Big Apple of the continent, our beautiful Nigeria. His Excellency Dr. Breakforth told you that we have come to spy. I can assure you that upon my return, I will share with the remaining of our brothers and sisters that you are ready for us. Thank you, Abuja, for your warm and loving welcome. I would like to honor my mentor and my elder Shiro, Dr. Beryl Beekman, and our international host of Global African Shiro's Union in her absence, Sister Angela Sales, along with our ancestors for paving the way for me to stand before you here today. You may ask, what are Shiros? And briefly, I will share that we are an organization, Global African Shiro's Union, the official international representation of the Womb Work Triad, which includes the Shiro Sisterhood, the Shiro Shop, and that the Global African Shiro's Union exists to protect the economic, social, political, and upward mobility of African women and their communities. And I bring you greetings from them today. We are happy to be here. As it has been shared, I am to share the heart of AFRIDU's Dr. Kaziel Ben Yehuda, and I will begin. Greetings from Israel in the name of Yahweh, the creator of the heavens and the earth, that gives life and is all life-sustaining. I want to first and foremost extol honor and respect to our ancestors and elders whose shoulders we truly stand on. We, your sons and daughters of Africa, are eternally grateful for your strength, your courage, your wisdom, and your vision. We are forever committed to continuing your examples and work. Your excellencies, nobles, government dignitaries, conference delegates, and friends, my name is Dr. Kaziel Ben Yehuda. I am a minister for the government cabinet of the Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem, established in the village of Peace, Dimona, Israel, northeastern Africa. As a member of our government cabinet, I serve as the Minister of the People and the official liaison to the United Nations, African Union, and the Pan-African Diaspora for our Ministry of Divine International Affairs. It is indeed my honor to address you today. I would like to acknowledge the organizers of this conference and the president of the African Diaspora Union. I salute you all for convening this grand and extraordinary gathering of such distinguished African leaders and influencers from across the globe. I'd like to also acknowledge the international ambassadorship of the Africa Diasporan Union for your consistent and impactful servitude. You have helped inspire our African vision and give greater integrity to African people, whether the continental African or its worldwide diaspora. Regrettably, I am not there with you today due to unfortunate circumstances which were beyond my control. As you are aware of, on October 7th, Israel was attacked by Hamas fighters from Gaza, located in the Palestinian Authority. The following day, Israel declared war on Gaza and trusted the country into one of the most horrific wars in the history of this region of the world. As a result, many of the government agencies were closed, including the cancellation of most international airline services. The Israel-Gaza war will cause phenomenal changes in the lives of all the inhabitants of the planet, either directly or indirectly. In fact, this war has caused me to make changes in the presentation I had originally prepared for this conference. Nigeria's role in restoring the dignity of the black man. The Israel-Gaza war and what will inevitably be the aftermath of this conflict has caused me to edit some of the context of my original paper. This is because this conflict has caused me to realize more the need for an expanded comprehension for what our challenges are in today's world. In regard to Nigeria's role in restoring dignity to African people has been exponentially increased. The Israel-Gaza war is far beyond the conflict we see today between Islamic Palestinians and Israeli Jews. Both of these entities are merely surrogates of a more vicious and historical constituency. Both merely are pawns on the chessboard being moved and manipulated by the grand masters of deception, aspirants and advocates of hegemonic conspiracies dating back to hundreds of years before the modern state of Israel was created. Sadly but truthfully, the resolution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict has no current geopolitical resolution. Only truth-centric recount of history can begin a real effective peace process for this conflict. Historical acts, ideas, and events are what shape the course of the future. In order to redress any conflict or dilemma, we may look to history. The cause of this conflict and its redress can be found in the history of Africa. The Europeans we see today at the front of the conflict are simply the effects of the cause. So how do these factors relate to Nigeria's role in the restoration of the dignity of the black man? Judaism, Islam, Christianity, each have their historical and spiritual roots in Jerusalem, the ancient capital of Israel's antiquity. Jews claim the western wall of Solomon's temple, located on Jerusalem's Mount Moriah. Christianity, the Holy Sepulchre, the stone that covers the grave that is believed to be where the body of Christ lays in state. The shrine is located in the old city of Jerusalem. Islam takes claim to the Dome of the Rock, the location they believe the Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, ascended into heaven. This shrine is also located on Jerusalem's Mount Moriah. Historically, Jerusalem is the epicenter of the world's three most capacious religions, systems, and the vital center for their fundamentalisms, which are at the core of the conflict. What is most important for us as Africans to know, but is unknown to the majority of African people, is the city of Jerusalem and the country of Israel is geographically located in northeastern Africa. Today, Israel and Jerusalem are mistakenly referred to as being in the Middle East. Without the presence of the man-made waterway, the Suez Canal, Israel and Palestine would be landlocked with Egypt via the Sinai Peninsula. So then, central texts that represent these religious, i.e., the Hebrew Torah, the Christian Bible, and the Islamic Quran are indigenous with African humanity and spirituality. And just as important to understand, all three coverage with the African Hebrew patriarch Abraham. Before Moses and the Israelites, the Christ and Christians, and Muhammad and Muslims, there existed Abraham the Hebrew. Here is where we must give full attention. Abraham was an African Hebrew. In the metaphysical idea of Hebrews, this was not a race, tribe, ethnic group, or religious faith. Originally, Hebrew was those defined by their state of divinely inspired intuitive consciousness and their truth-centeredness and conscientiousness. In times of African antiquity, these ideas of the Hebraic truth-centeredness was intrinsically present, although the African continent, your fatherland, Nigeria, played an important part in this African truth-centric civilization. Your ancestors knew about Noah, Abraham, Moses, the Hebrew prophets, and the Christ centuries before Western missionaries introduced their version of these phenomenal historic leaders to Africa. The Empire of Benin, the Kingdom of Nri, the empires of Songhai and Ghana were all influenced by the indigenous Hebraic systems of the northeastern Africa. In fact, so I will summarize. Africa's identity is predicted on these major factors. First, it will depend on how we are able to rekindle the spirit of New Jerusalem, inheritance, wholeness, integrity, and peace into our entire existence. These ideas must again be intrinsic with our aspirations. Our destiny will depend on the unity that can be reestablished between Africa and its diaspora. Nigeria must be the new voices and the new visionaries for Africa and African diaspora, unity and peace. We must involve ourselves with the African Union's Agenda of 2063. We must help promote Agenda 2063 goals, values, and vocations that are aligned with the visions of our predecessors, those who envision the Pan-African idea for social political governance and the ideal future for our African continent. As stated again, our mantra must express the fact that Africa's sustainability depends on its diaspora, and Africa's diaspora sustainability depends on the continent of Africa. Nigeria has the resources and capacities to help lead the way and rekindle the African vision that supports. I close with this, an inspiring and empowering stanza taken from this song. Let us all unite and toil together to give the best we have to Africa, the cradle of mankind, the fount of culture, our sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun, flesh of the sky. Let us make Africa the tree of life. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Welcome. Is this your phone? Is this yours? Please, a round of applause for a worthy representative. Your Royal Highness, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a high point in today's convergence. Remember, we are here. The theme of this event is fostering global partnership for the massive return of the African descent in diaspora for naturalization and economic development of the continent. At this point in time, permit me to invite to the podium the three wise men who are pushing for this return. First, the visionary himself, the man, the professor, the archbishop, the Afrido president, home and abroad, His Excellency Archbishop Professor Chidebere Analechi Ogbu. Please a round of applause for him. You can do better. Also joining him on the podium is His Excellency Dr. Onwubuya John Abraham Breakforth, Afrido Diplomatic Administrator, Nigeria. And now the big elephant himself, a man of wisdom, a man of great pedigree, blue-blooded as they come by, His Royal Majesty, the Amayarabo of Tuon Brass, King Alfred Dieter Spieth, CFR, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Afrido, Nigeria. Mr. President, permit me hand over to you.
Thank you very much. While our father, His Royal Majesty King Dieter Spieth, is coming up, His Majesty, can you operate from there? Yeah, with your blessings. Okay, please, you can sit down, sir. You can sit down. Put your hands together for him, please. Please, from the office of the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, is he still here? Chief Daniel Akwari? Okay. From the office of the Attorney General? Okay. I understand the civility there. Okay. Please, can the Afrido ambassadors and the diplomatic administrators, His Excellencies and Her Excellencies, please, from United States, the Afrido ambassador to USA and Canada, Dr. Murray McLagan, please. He went out. Okay, all the Afrido ambassadors, including the mobilizer, please. Honorable Ezechukwu, please can you all come up quickly? Please, Dr. Barry Beckman. Dr. Barry Beckman, please come up here. Ambassador Mbonyeze, please, don't waste our time. The diplomatic administrators, Liberia, please don't waste our time, come up here quickly. Yes, Honorable Cassandra, please come. CJ, please come on. Yeah, please. Okay. Please stand with us. Thank you. Please can all the excellencies and personalities that are here, please, can you stand on your feet? Can we all stand on our feet, please? We are here to formally.
Were you here today? You may ask, what are Sheroes? And briefly, I will share that we are an organization, Global African Sheroes Union, the official international representation of the Womb Work Triad, which includes the Shero Sisterhood, the Shero Shop, and that the Global African Sheroes Union exists to protect the economic, social, political, and upward mobility of African women and their communities. And I bring you.
We all stand on our feet. We are here to formally.
Were you here today? You may ask, what are Shero Sisterhood, the Shero Shop, and that the Global African Sheroes Union exists to protect the economic, social, political, and upward mobility of African women and their communities. And I bring you.
We all stand on our feet. We are here to formally.
Were you here today? You may ask, what are Shero Sisterhood, the Shero Shop, and that the Global African Sheroes Union exists to protect the economic, social, political, and upward mobility of African women and their communities. And I bring you.
We all stand on our feet. Launch the African Diaspora Union Nigerian chapter. The African Diaspora Union is in United States, in Canada, in the Caribbean, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, is in Africa, in few countries, is in Europe. We are scattered everywhere because we have been working in a very, calm, but grand style to ensure that this happens. I've always advised our colonial masters. They prepared our academic curriculum. Your academic curriculum shapes your mindset. And they prepared us to be orators. So we become producers and not we become consumers and not producers. We talk and we don't do. Since we realize what is happening and we know that our fathers and our leaders in the African Union, it began with the Organization of African Unity. By 2011, it became the African Union. If I read even their constitutive act, the preamble, it begins with, "We, the heads of state and government of African Union." They are not saying, "We, the people of Africa." But because we have legal luminaries amongst us, those who understand when to act and when not to act, and based on this constitutive act of the African Union and the 2012 Global Declaration, we take our power from there. That the policy that have been declared, even recently, the Article 3Q, we took our strength from there to back us legally, internationally, and the 2015 Declaration of the United Nations. We took our strength legally to back us. And upon that, the African Diaspora Union created what we call the AfriDo tripod stand. And the AfriDo tripod stand, I will read. African Diaspora Union, AfriDo, putting into consideration the May 25th, 2012 declaration of the Global African Diaspora Summit held in Sandton, Johannesburg, South Africa, and recognizing the decision at the summit to encourage the diaspora to organize themselves in regional networks and establish appropriate mechanisms that will enable their increasing participation in the affairs of the African Union as observers and eventually in the future as a sister region of the continent that will contribute substantially to the implementation of policies and programs, and recognizing the summit agreement to continue to integrate the African diaspora agenda in its engagement with international partners. African Diaspora Union, AfriDo, recognizing the diverse cultures and language of the African people all over the world, the diverse historical facts of the African and black people all over the world, believe in the tripod stand of integration of the diaspora. One, those African diasporas who wish to return to their motherland Africa and become part of Africa and participate in every endeavor as Africans with full rights of African citizenship. Two, those African diasporas who believe in investing in Africa and become part of the African businesses and economy. Three, those who wish to identify themselves with the African culture and inheritance through their genealogy with intention of participation in all African affairs, but not having the intention of returning back to Africa, their motherland. African Diaspora Union therefore incorporates into larger units the diverse units of plans and dreams of different African peoples and form alliance with different countries and regions of Africa or black peoples to actualize their dream of return to Africa or invest in Africa, identify in Africa through cultural integration, through an all-inclusive vision. To this day, the 2nd of November, 2023, the African Diaspora Union Nigeria, AfriDo, is declared launched. Please, can somebody, September 2024, all the people's